Hey, welcome to the Christ Revealed YouTube channel. I got a great interview coming up for you. Really great to be here with you. Enjoy this interview. You've written a lot of books. Some of them, or maybe many of them, are directed toward doubt. When people, why they have doubt, the problem of evil, etc. What are your views on all that?
Well, I start with the remember I mentioned I didn't get into the resurrection to be a good guy or to help people. I got into the resurrection because I was having issues.
Right.
I came to this whole topic from doubt. I've done 3 books on doubt, Dealing with Doubt, The Thomas Factor, Using Your Doubts to Grow Closer to God, and Why Is God Ignoring Me? Interestingly enough, the cover on the book, Why Is God Ignoring Me, is a guy who's walking down the middle of a highway with an empty gas can. And that's so expressive, because we do feel like we're on empty sometimes, and we've done everything. And how come he answered my friend's prayer? How come she got the near-death experience while she's having the child, and I got a child who's got issues? It's a bigger part of the problem of evil. And philosophers like to say evil has some really objective components to it. Bad things happen to good people. But for the most part, evil has a lot to do with what color our glasses are. A lot to do. A lot to do. Contemporary psychology, which I'm no psychologist, but I've taught a little in this area, and contemporary psychology, probably the most common rubric for handling psychological problems, is a method that says the worst things that happen to you, there are exceptions, but for most of us, the worst things that happen to us, by worst I mean what causes most of your pain, is not what happens to you. It's not your car accident last week. It's not when you flunked out of a class at age 17 and always thought you were dumb ever since. It's not what happens to you. It's how you download what happens to you. And we all know stories. Anyone who's been near sports or academia, we know the guy who everybody says you're a loser, you can't think, you're stupid, and the guy could have a really high IQ. But the problem is not when you call me names because I'm stupid. It's when I internalize it and say I must be stupid and don't do my homework and don't care because everybody knows I'm stupid. So it's not what happens to me, it's how I download it. And I deal with people who doubt all the time. They write to me like crazy. Got an email today from a lady. And they'll say, what do I do with these things? And I'll say, look, there's different kinds of doubt. But the most common kind of doubt is not factual doubt. People think it is, especially men, think it's, give me 22 evidences for the resurrection, I'll believe. If you're not inclined to believe, if you don't want to, you won't. What you're asking me is, can you what if it? And if you can what if it, which you can what if anything, I could give you 22 evidences and you could say, what if there's no God? What if we got this wrong and there's something that fell between the cracks and we're just not smart enough to know what it is? And then I'll say, well, let me ask you a question. Do you what if a lot? I would what if almost everything. Okay, second question. Does your doubt hurt? So my doubt's very painful. Why? Well, because, and here's the answer I get a lot, because it's very personal. If there's a yellow brick road, to use your language, and if there's a Narnia, I want to be there. I want to be on the bus. I want to get there. But what if there isn't? What if I can't be sure? Or what if my family goes there, but I'm missing the bus? These are painful thoughts. Okay, it's painful. Then your doubt, almost for sure, is emotional. No, I'm asking, how do I know the resurrection is true? That's right. You're asking the same questions the factual doubter is asking, how do I know the resurrection is, but you're trumping it when you're done with a little what if icing on your cake. You're getting the cake, and then you're slapping some icing on that nullifies the whole cake. And when you tell me it hurts, that's because this is the most valuable thing to you in the world, or close to it. And someone's told you you'll never have it. Or you might wonder, what if I never have it? And that hurts.
So what if I'm the guy with the gas can in the middle of the road, with the feeling is, why is God ignoring me? What's the alternative view for that person?
Well, let me. If you went to a counselor and you wanted to pay $100, $150 an hour, I don't know how much they charge. But here's an issue. What if your gas can is not totally empty? What if it's half full? And what if in the last month, if you would take the time to take a 3x5 card and jot down some things where God's answered your prayer, just happened to me the other day, jot down a few things that you ask for, and especially if it's a real special kind of prayer request that would be really cool for you, but it's not likely that this happened by accident. And you just jotted it down. Because like children, we are prone, if I ask God 10 things and 9 of them take place over 6 months, why do we forget the 9 he did and ask him why he never answered that one prayer for us? We do that all the time. Kids do it all the time. And we say, oh, kids are so ungrateful. Adults are ungrateful. And what if you think your gas can is empty, but it's not? Now, what I mean by that is this. We all have glasses. If my glasses are called cynicism, and I always look at God askance because when I was little, I went through a really, really scary situation, and I've always held it against God that he didn't pull me out of it and put me up on a rock like the psalmist says. That didn't happen to me. Well, someone could point out to you, there's some other guys who were in that situation. They got hurt a lot worse than you. Something was answered on your part. See, you'd forget all that. You say, I just know God didn't pull me out of it. And you walk around with this pain all your life. And you say, God let you down. Now, here's where it really hurts. My glasses are called cynicism. I look at the world with cynical glasses. Let's say God didn't let me down. I tell myself God lets me down. Here's the key. For me, God let me down. But God didn't. For me, God let me down. Because I see everything through these glasses. I can't see anything without looking through cynicism. So if I say, you let my dad die when my youngest was 9 years old when my wife died of stomach cancer. How come I didn't grow up with a mom? How come, why did God let that happen to me? Well, I don't know. When you get to heaven, God might need a whole sentence to answer that question for you. But there is an answer. Don't think that you're going to trump God with your knowledge all of a sudden. But if you say to you, God let me down, God let me down, God let me down, today you will believe God's untrustworthy, doesn't answer my prayers. But it's not the empty gas can. It's the cynicism from which you view the whole world. And everybody who knows you says, you've always had an axe to grind with God ever since your mom died. Well, wouldn't you be like that if? Well, see, you just proved my point. In your mind, God's guilty. But what if God's not guilty? Now, by that I mean, God's the only person in the universe who can't go against his own attributes. I can lie. God can't lie. I can die. God can't die. God can't be other than God. God can't decide to trick you today in some kind of nasty or unethical way. God can't do that. So I'd say most of the time, the way we characterize our issues are the way we characterize the issues. It's what we make of it. No, you're wrong. My mom really died. She did, but that doesn't mean you know the reason or don't know the reason. I tell people, to me, the theme of the book of Job is Job realized by the end of the book that he knew enough about God to trust him in those things he didn't know. When I was growing up, my mother used to have this funny little way. My dad was very strict. He went in special forces, fought in Germany, quit high school when he was 17 years old. Tough guy. He's dying of cancer now. Real tough guy. And my dad would be kind of hard on us sometimes. And he'd even say, boys, I've been hard on you, but for a reason. We go to my mom, and we go, Mom, he wants us to wash the cars on Friday night, and I already had plans with my friends. Can you please talk to Dad? Well, she didn't do it very often, but my mom had this way of going, it's going to be okay. Well, Mom, will you do it? It's going to be okay. Mom, will you talk to it? Have you ever trusted Mom and I didn't come through? All right, Mom, I'll give you another chance. And Friday night comes and I get to go out with my friends. So after a while, we got to trust my mom that she could pull this off. After a while, I start trusting Mom. Why can't God be like that? I think the answer that Job got, Job realized that he knew enough about God to trust some of those things he didn't know. I would say, I know Jesus is a miracle worker, a lot of arrows in my quiver. I know there's a God. I know there's an afterlife. I know that today many, many people are healed. 2 volumes on my shelf over there with thousands of healing cases, 2 more over there with many healing cases by medical doctors. That's the world I live in. It's a world where Jesus predicted his resurrection. Then he rose from the dead. That's what I know about the world. Can I give God a chance to get to heaven and let him tell me, because I think it'll only take him one sentence, but who died and put me on the throne? It's just my glasses. It's not reality. So I would say if I know the resurrection has happened, there's an answer to that question. Well, what is it? God knows it. Oh, it's just a cop-out. It's only a cop-out if there's no God. And it's only a cop-out if there's no resurrection, but both are true.
Well, extraordinary, and stimulating thoughts and comments. I really appreciate you taking the time today. We covered a lot of ground, and it was, it felt like it went by in 5 minutes, but this was really wonderful. So thank you for all the work you've done, and thank you for taking time.
I enjoy it. It's all about ministry, and if some of this can help somebody who's got the empty gas can, and you tell them it's about your glasses, and they fight with you for a few minutes, but then they realize it is about their glasses, you've helped one more person. So I think it's great.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's it for this particular interview. Thanks for joining me. Really excited to take this ongoing journey with you as we keep bringing more content. If you haven't already, you really should subscribe to this channel. There's a lot of phenomenal content coming down the road into the future that you'll want to know about. Leave a comment down here. I think people would love to hear from you, and then you can hear from them too. If you liked it, go ahead and give a like. It only takes half a second, and share this with people that you care about. The world needs more light in it right now. So thanks for being with me. Hope to connect with you again soon.